Okay, good afternoon all. Hope that you can hear me. It's raining here. Because of that, some kind of noises may be there. Then, if you can't hear, if I'm not audible, that you can tell me that I can maybe talk a little bit loud than this. I think today we have a small problem. You haven't received the lecture link in advance. Because of that, I think most of your friends they can't come to the lecture. But anyway, we can do the lecture because I have talked with your coordinator and your batchmate also, that according to them that you are in a very tight schedule. Because of that, we can't find another day. Then we will record the lecture and I will upload it maybe to your LMS or YouTube or whatever the place. Then your other friends, you can refer it later. Not only that day, you also can refer it later. Anyway, we can start the lecture. I think this is another experience today we are receiving, we are going to have. And anyhow, that in your life that you have decided to follow this degree program at ICAM, then hopefully you are having different aims and different objectives. Maybe you are having in your mind. Because of that, you have selected this degree program uh, in your career, and maybe you might have the different ideas, different names also. It's not like that in your O levels and A levels, that because your parents are behind you and all the time they are pushing you to do certain things, that do this, do this, do this, like that. But sometimes it may be different here. Now you are doing most of the thing because you need that. Okay? You have found certain places and you have searched about the many places conducting degree programs, and considering all these things, you came here, and now you have started your work and you are continuing. But when you come to the ICAM, okay, then doing certain different things from different areas, you can come here, and you are coming from different disciplines, you might have different backgrounds also. Anyhow, that after coming here, all of you are there and following a certain curriculum, and you have to do several other subjects other than chemistry, and this is one of that kind of subject, and you have to follow other than the chemistry mainstream. Okay, then you might have some worry about that, then why we have to follow these type of things like that. But actually, that following a degree is not a learning only the mainstream, because several other subject areas are there. Those areas might help you to come to a certain level. Okay. Actually, earning a degree is not a qualification to a job. It's a kind of level up of your life. Okay, earning a degree, you are thinking differently, and you are trying to look at the problems differently, and without knowing, or maybe knowing also, that you are going to a different level, different state of thinking and behaving and looking a problem differently, like that. You are little by little, you are climbing up the ladder, and then one day, you, after earning your degree, you are going to the society, maybe to serve the nation in different way. But anyhow, these different disciplines, these different subjects will add certain things to your life. Sometimes it may be the subjective support, and sometimes that it may be uh, burden of your mind to think problems differently, to address the thing differently. Okay. Anyway, that sometimes that you might not like these subjects, Some of you might not like this subject because of that experience you are bringing from your previous uh, ages. Maybe during your A-level time or O-level time, you might have certain experience with the circuits. Because of that experience, you might hate the subject. Okay? Some of you might love the subject, but it doesn't matter. But because of that, you are following this degree program. You have to follow this, and you have to earn a good grade if you are in level one. Without completing this one, you can't go to the next level, or maybe you can complete the next level. But before you uh, become a graduate, okay, you have to complete these subjects. So I think these subjects are compulsory subjects. Okay, then because of two reasons, you have to follow this one. First one is in your curriculum, and it's a compulsory subject. Because of that, you have to do this. Otherwise, maybe most of you are here because of the first reason. The second reason, to have some kind of idea about other things and to get a knowledge about certain other things, then it may be helpful to you in your career also. That may be the second reason. I think most of your time, the second reason might not the case in your mind. Anyway, now we are here and we have to do this one. Then we have only 4 lectures to complete this one. Then it's not a much more time we are having to complete this one. But anyway, after coming to this one, what can we do? If it is possible, try to come all 4 days here. Try to participate all 4 days to the class. Okay. Then most of the thing you can easily understand. Otherwise, you might think that okay, the video recording is there. Okay, this person will upload it to some place that I can refer it later. But I think you can believe me, most of the time that if you are going to do like that, but it will not happen. The video is there, that video is there forever, but we don't have enough time to refer it later. But if it is possible, I think the weekend group, you might involve different activities. Some of you may be doing different jobs, and you have engaged with different maybe some kind of maybe job oriented or home oriented problems also. Because of that, you might not have enough time. Because of that limitation, you can't come to the lecture. If that's so, then you can refer it later. But otherwise, if you have free time, my personal advice is come to the lecture and listen it there and do the exercises then and there. Then that part is over. Then you have enough time to do other things. And most of the time, when you come to this lecture, you have my word. You can understand most of the things very well. Okay. Then please come here. Please come to the class and do the activities, do the exercises well. Then without putting much more effort there, then you can easily understand. And finally, you can face your examination successfully. Another reason to come here, because this is your time. This is not my time. Okay. I am here because of you, because you have come here. Then I am here to guide you, not to teach you. Now you are in this level. It's there is a heavy rain and thundering also there. Still, there is no power failure. Hope that we don't have any disturbances here much more. But if something happens, maybe uh, still there is no problem. Okay. And as I mentioned, this is your time, and all the time, try to come to the lecture and ask many questions. Anytime you can interrupt me and ask any question. If you can't understand anything well, then you can interrupt me many times until you understand the topic. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. I like that if you turn on your mic and you talk, but at least that if it is not possible, just type on the chat. Okay. Then if you are okay, then we can start. We can come to the topic now. The circuits. Have you seen circuits? I think most of the time, answer may be yes. On behalf of you, I am answering the question. On the other side, I'm asking the question, and I come to your side, and you could give the answer also. Okay. For the moment, I can do like that, but later on, you can give your contribution. Okay. Then the circuits, but where we have found these circuits. Okay. At homes, maybe in different industries, maybe in different places, you have seen circuits. For example, you might have a mobile phone. Most of the time, yes, we have a mobile phone. Without having a mobile phone, most of us, we don't have a life. Okay. Inside the mobile phone, we have a circuit. When you go home, you might have a laptop, desktop, TV, maybe washing machine, maybe different electronic appliances, maybe electrical appliances also. But inside those devices, we have circuits. When you go to hospital, when you go to the airport, when you go to the bank, there are a lot of electronic devices are there. Then inside those places, those devices, we have circuits. Circuits are everywhere. Okay. Then are we going to cover up all these circuits? No, just relax. We are not going to cover all these things. We are going to discuss actually very simple form of circuit. You can relax it. No problem at all that we can. What are the things that we can see? But don't think about that very complicated, very advanced circuits. But at your home front, that have you seen this one? Then you have a bulb like this, and here you have a switch. And from the main power supply, from the commercially available main power supply, this 230-volt AC, the commercially available main power is coming to your home. Okay, then coming to home. Then after that, you can use that main power to turn on electrical bulb you have placed in your room. You have this switch. We can say switch, and this is bulb. Okay. This is circuit. Okay. Now, what can we see with this circuit? Here we have that kind of component. One switch is there, and another one bulb is there, and power source is there. Okay. Then what are things we have component and power source. And what else? We have components, this one and this one, and power source, and how all these things have been connected together. We need some kind of connection. Maybe using wires, maybe using copper tracks, or whatever the thing. We are connecting all the devices together in a meaningful manner with a certain logic to have a functionality from a circuit. That's how we make circuits. Then the circuits are ranging from they have maybe electrical circuit, there may be electrical circuits as I shown in the previous slide, or maybe they are electronic circuits. And they are maybe very simple to moderate to very complex circuit types are there. But actually, we are not going to discuss this type of circuit. We are not going to discuss this type of circuit. We are going to discuss in your scope, in your subject area, this type of circuits. Especially we have resistors, these power sources, and all these. These are the circuits type we are going to discuss, not this type of thing. Not very complicated electronic circuits we are going to discuss. We are discussing very small, simple electrical circuits having couple of resistors and couple of power sources, and then we are talking about the physical properties of those devices. Okay, but one thing you can see here, we need connections. For this connection, we can use copper wires or the copper tracks, whatever the thing is clear, and we need power source and we need component source. When it comes to component, okay, then to show the components in a circuit, we need lot of symbols. For example, if you want to put a resistor in a circuit, here, this is the symbol you can use to place a resistor. Without drawing a picture of a resistor, we are putting a symbol in a circuit diagram. Then we are drawing actual circuit diagrams. To draw these diagrams, we need these symbols. It may be electrical or electronic kind of circuits, but whatever the thing, we need symbols. For example, this is a very simple resistor, and this is the capacitor. Capacitor, and these are transistors, but we are not going to use here these things, and diodes and different other devices are there. But we use switches, these type of things, and power source, this one, and battery, like that, but not complicated things. But these circuit symbols we use to draw the circuits, these type of things. But then we can divide these components into two categories: passive components and active components. Okay. Then what is this? What are the components we can put this passive category, and what are the components falling into this active category? Without taking much more time of you, I can say the resistor is here, capacitor is here, inductors are here, like that. Then diode, transistor, IC, they are coming to this active category. Then the other category is passive category. And then after putting these components into these two categories, what do you think? So what is the meaning? What is the basis uh, to break these two components into two categories? These components into categories. What is the base of this division? What do you think about this resistor? Okay, there is a circuit like that, and we can put a resistor here. And to these circuits, we have introduced this resistor. Sometimes the value may be 100 ohms. Then we can put this resistor here. Before you place this resistor here, resistor is outside the circuit and its value is 100 ohm, resistance is 100 ohm. You can take a multimeter and measure the resistance. Then multimeter shows 100 ohms resistance is there with this component. Okay. Then after placing this component to this circuit, now this is the circuit. There may be some other components here. Maybe some different type of components are there. They are doing their jobs. But after placing this resistor here, what this resistor can inject to the circuit, what this resistor can introduce to the circuit. So what is the effect this resistor can do? It can introduce the 100 ohm resistance to the circuit. But after inserting this one to the circuit, also it can do the same thing. But without inserting it to the circuit, still resistor can show 100 ohm resistance at its property. Then resistance is there, whether the circuit, whether the component is attached to the circuit or not. But if you consider a transistor like this, but when you have a transistor outside a circuit, or maybe you can place this transistor and these three legs you have connected to the circuit. Then to give the functionality of this transistor, give the effect of this transistor to the circuit, this device, this component needs power. Without having a power, this transistor cannot introduce its effect to the circuit. But based on that, we can categorize that there may be the very complex theoretical explanation is there for this passive and active division, but this is the simple idea behind this. If the component can show its own characteristic without having power, then those components are falling into passive category. But if any component is there, it cannot introduce its effect, it cannot show its characteristic to a circuit without having power, and it needs power to work, then those components are coming under active category. Is it clear? Okay, now circuits are there. For example, we can draw a very simple circuit, resistor, and we can put a battery here. This may be 12 volts, and the resistance we can say it's 4 ohm resistor. And when we connect this battery to this resistor like this, you know that through this circuit there is a current going through the resistor. Okay, then using the very simple Ohm's law, if you want that, you can calculate the current 12 volts divided by 4 ohms, then 3 ampere. Then here we have 3 ampere current going through the resistor. Okay. Then what are the things we can see here? You can see power source. Then for this we have 12 volts battery. Then this power source is actually DC power source. Okay. Then what else you can see? The components. So we have only one resistor, that is 4 ohm resistor. In addition to that, what are the things we have talked about? These are the devices, power source, 12 volts battery is there, and this 4 ohm is there. Then we have to talk about this voltage, resistance, and current also. Okay. In addition to the physical things we can see, we can touch some other physical properties are there. That the voltage is there from this battery is providing this much of power to the circuit. And we can measure it, unit is volt, then this voltage is there. But this voltage we are applying to a certain resistor. So inside the resistor, we have resistance. Resistance to what? To the current. Then when we connect this power source to component like this, as a result, the current is going through this, current is generated. Then we have to talk about these things. Okay. Then when you come to these power sources, okay, then here we mention it's a DC power source. When we specifically mention this power source DC, but actually the power sources are there, the different type of power sources. We have DC power sources and AC power sources. When you have DC power source, you have DC voltage, then DC current. But when you have AC power source, you have AC voltage and AC current also. Okay. Then we have voltages. This voltage, we have DC voltages, AC voltages. Then we have current. And when it comes to current, again we have DC currents, AC current also. Then what else we have discussed here? We have this property, resistance. Okay. Then when you apply this voltage to a circuit like this, then this current is generated and current is going through this resistor. Because of that, inside this resistor, certain power is generated. Okay? Certain voltage is generated. Then here you have power. Resistance, power. Then after that, if you use this power source applied to this resistor for a certain period of time, then now you have another property. This much of power we have, this much of period, time. Okay? But if you use this power for certain period of time, then another parameter is involved. Here you have power, then after that, when you apply this power for a certain period of time, then T is coming into the picture. Then this much of power T, then that is after combining these two, we have energy. E. Then energy also. In this class, what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss DC voltages and AC voltage, DC currents and AC current, and we can calculate certain resistance of a circuit. And when you apply this DC voltage, that is DC current may be there. When you apply AC voltage, AC current may be there. Then we can find how much of power consumption is there. Then power is involved. We can find how much of power is there in that component. Then for the circuit, how much of power is involved. Then after applying power for a certain period of time, then energy comes into the picture. Then we can find how much of energy we have. And those are the things we are going to discuss within these 4 days. Then at the end of this lecture series, at the end of these 4 days, and we are going to discuss these things in a different manner. But most of the time, maybe first 2 days, we are going to discuss the most of all these things you have already know. You already know all these things, how to calculate the when you apply voltage, then how to calculate current, then when you have the current and resistance, then how to use this Ohm's law, like that. Those basic stuff we are going to discuss. Most of you have a good idea about these things, but it doesn't matter if you do not have any idea of these things, but it doesn't matter. Don't mind. We are starting from the beginning. As I mentioned at the very beginning, I am here to guide you. I am here to explain the things until you understand the subject. Then, if you don't understand anything, that when you do all these things, please interrupt me at any time. I'll explain it again. Okay. Then, if I share my slide again, that's what I want to show you. These are the DC and AC voltage, and then when we apply DC voltage, DC current is there, and then here that you can see the DC voltage. Sometimes we can say this is plus 6 volts. Same same axis we have shown current and voltages also. Then based on that, this current may be 2 ampere or whatever thing like that. But if it is DC, you can see all the time it's continuous, maybe the constant, but sometimes there may be variation. But anyhow, this the, the, the graph shown voltage curve and current curve, those are DC properties. But when it comes to this AC, you can see The AC voltage green color one, it's varying. It's varying. Sometimes it's zero and it's going to positive peak, and again it's coming back to zero and crossing the line. Then after that it is having negative values, then going maximum negative value. Then after that it's coming back to zero. Like that it's changing. But if the component is resistor, for example, if you are a resistor for this AC power source, you can go like this. Then this AC current is generated, this is resistor and this is volt. But if this load is a resistor, if this is a resistor, this current curve also following the same voltage curve. They are having same shape, but in the height may be different. But when the voltage is having its maximum value, current also is having maximum value. When voltage is zero, current is also zero. You can see that. Then now we have this word DC voltages and AC voltages like that. Okay. This one. Okay, then how can we find the difference between them? How can we say that this is a DC voltage, this is a AC voltage like that? For example, the previous diagram, previous slide, I have shown you that when you have voltage like this time axis, and this is a voltage axis, and if you have a voltage like this, maybe plus 5 volts, this is 0 volts, then this is DC voltage. But when you have a voltage like this, what can you say about this one? Is it DC or AC? And what about that if you have a voltage like this? What do you think about this wave shape? Which one is DC, which one is AC? What do you think? If you want, please turn on your mic and talk. Doesn't matter. I like if you are talking, but otherwise, that at least can you type on the chat? You can say this is diagram A, B, C, D, E, F. What about this one? This DC or AC? If I say this is DC, do you agree with me? Actually, this one is DC, but this is AC. This is DC. This is AC, and this one DC. How can we say? Because if any voltage, any signal, the voltage is having, it may be constant value. Sometimes it may be varying value like this, but it does throughout the entire period, it does not change its direction. It does not change its sign. It's DC. Here, this is 5 volts. Throughout the time, it's 5 volts. But this one is changing, but it doesn't go to the negative side. Because of that, it doesn't cross the zero line. Because of that, this is DC. But this one, during this time, it's positive. During this time, it's negative. Here, it's positive. Then positive, negative, positive. Then this is not a DC signal. This is AC. This one, this is positive. Here it's 0, positive, 0, positive, 0. Still, it doesn't cross the 0 line and going other side. Because of that, it's DC. But this one is a sign, is a sign 1, sinusoidal signal. Then it's going positive and negative continuously. Because of that, this is AC. But this one is also varying signal. But it hasn't come to the negative side at any time. Because of that, you can say this signal is DC. Anything else? Any clarification? Okay. Is it clear about this AC voltages and DC voltages? Then DC voltage is having value, but this one DC voltage is not a constant value, but it's changing, but all the time it's in positive side. Because of that, this is DC. So this C and E, they are AC signals. Why? Because it's the time to time it's crossing the line. Okay. Then when you have a signal like this, for example, When you have a signal like this, you can say the applied voltage is 5 volts. But here, if you have applied the sinusoidal signal, this type of voltage to a circuit, how can you say about the voltage value? Then how can you find instantaneous voltages at these points? Maybe you want to find this is 0, but at other points, how can we find this one? Okay. Actually, we have an equation for this instantaneous voltage. If you have sine signal like this, time axis, voltage, and if you have a sinusoidal signal like this, okay. For this one, we have the positive peak, then we say it's plus Vp, and this one minus Vp is the negative peak, and in between this positive peak to negative peak, this gap is B peak to peak, and here we have this one, this time period. This is periodic time because the signal is periodic signal. Periodic is signal. That means after having certain time, then again the cycle starts repeating. Then for one cycle we have this one. This is periodic time. Okay. Then if you have periodic time, you can calculate frequency also. Frequency equals to 1 over T. Then our next problem is that here the positive peak is a fixed value, negative peak is a fixed value. Here this is 0 volts. But if you want to find any voltage at these points, any point, how can you find? Then for this instantaneous voltage, we have an equation to find this one. That is simple V equals Vp sine theta. Theta means the angle. Here starting from 0, this is 90, and this is 180, 270, 360. So all 360 degrees, it's going like this. But for the next cycle, it's again starting from 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 100 degrees. Or maybe you can write this way also, Vp sine omega t. Now you have time and dimension and angular frequency value also. But using whatever the equation, if it is time, you can use this equation. If it is angle, then you can use this equation. Okay, then based on that, shall I try to find this instantaneous value? Okay. Can you try to find an answer for this type of the following angles, that when the signal is at 0 angle, then what is the instantaneous voltage? When it is at 90 degrees value, then what is the voltage? Then using the equation, you can easily find it. The sine values, the sum of the sine values are given. Then using that one, you can find the instantaneous voltage values. Of the given equation. Then here, what is the sine voltage? The sinusoidal voltage having 10 volts peak. That's what you need. Only the parameter 10 volts. Then Vp is 10 volts. Here the equation is simple. V equals Vp sine theta. Sine, the theta value is given. Then you have to find the sine value. Then if it is 90 degrees, sine 90 here we haven't mentioned because sine 90 is 1, sine 0 is 0, then this sine 120. Okay. Can you try to find answers for this one quickly? It's a very small exercise. This is not a difficult question that if you want to find this voltage at this point, then Vp is 10 volts and sine 170, then this is 10 volts into minus 1.0, it's minus 10 volts. Okay. Likewise, you can apply the relevant sine value of the angle, then you can find relevant value. Okay. Then let me share my slide set. Then here you can understand this DC and AC voltage values here. Then this is the one we have discussed, this period, cycle time and frequency. And this is the period T. If you have T, then we can find 1 over T. And this is the equation for time and angle also. But then we have a problem here. Okay. The problem is actually that when you have a voltage one, then for example, if you have a circuit like this, now you have this resistor, the simple circuit we use initially, same circuit we can, this one, this is 12 volts, then this is 4 ohms, and 3 ampere current is going on. Then this voltage is 12 volts DC. When you say 12 volts DC, for any kind of calculation, it's 12 volts DC, and you have the value and you can use it. Okay. But what about that if you provide an AC power source? For example, this one. Current. We don't know how to calculate this one. The resistance still the same resistor. And the AC waveform may be this. Like this. See? And this positive peak, it may be plus 6 volts. And this one, it may be minus 6 volts. This is 0 volts. And to find the current of this circuit, so what is the voltage value you are going to put here? Because this is AC. All the time, the voltage value is changed. But when you want to find the instantaneous current, for example, if you want to find the current value at this point, at this particular point, then at this particular point, you can find voltage. Then if you know the voltage, then you can find current value. But all these values are instantaneous values. Just the moment you have this voltage, at that moment you have this current. But next moment voltage is having a different value, then this is V1 and I1. And here the voltage value V2, then I2 current is there. But we don't have any representation value for this one. Then for the entire thing, we can't have a value. Then how can we find entire that the representation value for this voltage? But when you have something like this, what do we say? We'll average the thing. We'll average the voltage and we say this is the average voltage for this one. Then you can use this average voltage for calculation. We can say like that. But how can we average this waveform? How can we average this voltage? But this is positive half cycle, positive voltage one, and this is negative half cycle. And when you add this positive one to this negative voltage to get the average one by time, then this one will cancel out. Then result is 0 volts. Then we can't average one. Okay. The voltage average, we can't do like that. But when you average that one, it's 0. But is it true? The average voltage of this is 0. Is it true? If it is average, that there is no effect there. But saying like that, when this voltage is 230 volt AC at your home front, the commercial power supply value, saying that this 230 volt voltage is AC that coming from the outside, then this is when we average this voltage, it's 0. Because of that, we can touch the wire. Can you do like that? Please don't do it. Okay? Otherwise, that you will say that's mentioned that its average is 0. Because of that, I touch it. No. There is an effective value. Sometimes that if you have this experience, accidentally, if you have touched the main power, you know the effect. It's not zero. By experience, you know it's not zero. Okay. For example, you have power outlet there, you have electrical iron, you can plug the iron to the electrical outlet. So you can see that certain heat is coming from the iron. Then if the average is zero, then it should not be like that. But there is a value, there is a thing giving some kind of effective value. There is an effective value. Then how can we find effective value? Then if you know that effective value, we can put that effective value here, be effective as the representation value for this waveform. But how can we find this effective value? The averaging is not working. Then what can we do? If the averaging is not working, what can we do? Then what is our waveform? It's something like this. V and this waveform is something like this. If you average like this, it's zero. Then, but you know that it's a time varying function. Your voltage is time varying function. It's varying with time. Okay. Then, but this one is having here. It's having positive value. Here it's having negative value. But because of that, we can take square of this. If you take square of this one, then what is the resultant waveform? V squared like that. Then the negative side is coming up. Then it will be something like this. And this is V and this one V squared T. Now what can we do? Now you can average. Then this V squared one you can average. But why are we going to do like this? But this normal V, if you average this one, the result is zero. Because of that, we are going to remove this negative part. To remove that one, we'll square it. When you square it, the resultant waveform is the red color one. Then we can average that. The averaging of this one is something like this. Then it's not. It's actually taking the area of this one. Then this is the period of this waveform is here. It's T. Then we can average this one. T V squared, and we can average this one 0 to T. We can integrate it dt. And to get the average of this one, we will divide it by T. We are integrating from here to here. 0, this is 0. 0, this is T. 0 to T, we are integrating this one. And to get the average, we will divide it by C. But what we have averaged now, we have averaged V square. But to get the real thing, after that, after taking all these things, we have to get the root of this one. Then what is this? Now we have V. Now this V is not normal V. Now this V is, what is it? We have squared this one. We have taken mean of this one. And we have taken square root of this one. And this is VRMS. V root mean square value. That is the actual effective value of this AC voltage. It's theoretically we can prove like this, but actually practically also it has been proved that the effective value is this. Okay. For AC waveforms, sinusoidal waveforms, Vrms is Vp divided by root 2. But this is true only for sine waves. Then what about the other waves? For other waves, we have to work it out. Then and this is Vrms value, the actual meaning of this one. The RMS value is somewhere here. This is Vp plus Vp, and this is minus Vp, and here this is Vrms. It's not positive peak value, it's a little bit below that one, but it's something like this. Okay, and this is true for this. Here this Vrms equals to Vp divided by root 2. That is true for sine waves. But what about others? For these waves, sine waves is Vp divided by root 2. Full wave rectified the same, but half wave rectified Vp divided by 2. Half of that one, triangular waveforms, Vp divided by root 3, like that. Is it okay? Okay, if you are okay with that, we can try to find these voltages. Find the Vrms value for the following voltages. Those voltages are AC waveforms. The sine wave with 10 volts peak, you can easily find it. Triangular wave with 15 volts peak, you can also this one you can find. AC square wave with 5 volts peak, square wave one, again you can do it. Full wave rectified one, half wave rectified one, and sixth one DC square wave with 5 volts peak. Frequency is mentioned and on time to. Can you try this one? Take a couple of minutes and try to solve this. Again, I am going to previous slide because some of you couldn't not that one. You can note it down. Okay. I'll go back to the question. Now try to find these values. The first one, is it okay? Sine wave with 10 volts peak. First one, VRMS you can find. It's 10 volts divided by root 2. It's 7.07 volts. What about the sixth one? Then what is simple T and what is capital T? Simple T is 2 milliseconds, but you know frequency value, frequency is 100 hertz. Then periodic time is 1 over 100. Then it's 0.01. Okay. Then this is Vp is 5 volts. The square root of T means 2 milliseconds. Then if you want to keep it, then 0.002. And this one divided by 0.01. Okay. And you know simple T, you know capital T, like that, then you can find VRMS. Any problem? If you have anything that at the very beginning of the next day, you can interrupt me, you can ask many questions, and I like if you're asking much more questions. And the next day we can discuss other parts, how to do the calculations when we apply power, then how can we, all these things are not new things to you, but you have already used this Ohm's law and several other theorems also. The next day, the whole day we are going to spend, do the calculation with several other problems and how to do all these calculations like that with the power, energy, and all these things. I'll upload this video. Maybe I'll send the link to your coordinator. But if you are, can you type that your maybe the representative mail address or whatever the thing on the chat, that I can send that link to you directly, or maybe anyway that I'll send it to the ICAM also. Sorry, I couldn't mention at the very beginning. Very sorry that I am Sudhanta from University of Moratuwa. Otherwise, that is not nice to, without introducing me, that doing this lecture. I'm from the University of Morocco IT faculty. I'm actually dean of the IT faculty. Coming to I came maybe nearly, I think, 6 to 7 years so far. Okay, you have my okay, I can type my email address here. This is my phone number if you need to contact me, but sometimes it's not maybe easy task, but for the unknown numbers, most of the time, if I am in a meeting, then I don't ask the phone. But anyway, that you can send me a mail. At uom.lk, and if you provide that your email address, your batch representative email address, that I can send the video link to you directly. I'm sending it to a coordinator anyway. Okay, if you don't have anything else, that we can finish the session today. Hope that you may understand the things I have mentioned here. And if you have anything else, that we can discuss it maybe next day. Yes, yes, actually I'm mentioning that, sir, can you please upload the lecture recording? That's what I mentioned. I think you didn't hear me. I mentioned, check the time. I did not mute that. I'll upload the lecture. Then after uploading the lecture, I can send the link to you directly. If you provide the coordinators or whatever the person, the batch representative mail address me, then I can send it. Otherwise, that I'll send it to the ICAM. Then they will send the link to you. Okay, shall we stop now? If you don't have any question, and take care of yourself and be safe. We'll meet next day, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
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 You're welcome. And if you type the email, one of your email addresses here, that I can send the link to